All right, guys. So today I wanted to talk more about this thing called artificial intelligence, also known as AI. You guys have probably heard about it. It's currently the single biggest trend that we have in business right now, and some people might even say a generational trend, or maybe even a once in a lifetime type trend. And internet marketing and search engine optimization is obviously changing a lot because of it. I just wanted to touch on what I see as three of the biggest changes going forward, going into the end of this year and going into 2027 next year. The three biggest ways that AI is going to be affecting search engine optimization, and so the first one is I think the AI is really going to affect content. So for the last however many years, like most people have said, content's like the main thing that moves the needle. Content is king when it comes to search engine optimization. So you have these writers that are, writing all this stuff. And nowadays you just go to ChatGPT or Claude and you say, hey, spit out, three paragraphs on this or a page of content on that, and it's pretty easy. And you would think like, okay, content, check, like we got that solved. Just have the AI spit it out, and we put it on the website, and job well done. But uh, it's not so easy because the the main the main thing that we've seen so far with the AI, and I can maybe make another video about this in the future, go into more detail, but the early studies are showing with the AI is that number one, user generated content is actually performing better than AI generated content. The second thing is shorter content is doing better than longer content, which is interesting because for a lot of years, it's been most people have been going after the longer content, the quote unquote evergreen content. And then the content that's out there that's shorter has been kind of frowned upon, and they call it, thin content, not good. But we're seeing that the AI actually likes the bite-sized type content better. And we're seeing that, for whatever reason, the human generated content is performing better than the AI content. So take that for what you will. But I think that makes sense because, like, ask yourself this, like, all of the AI content that's out there, like, how much do you actually like read? And for me personally, like if I see something that I think is like AI generated, like I don't read it. And there are people in our industry that are starting to call it AI slop, and I kind of buy into that. In my opinion, I think the content that performs the best is when you're using brevity, when you're really getting to the point as fast as possible. It's kind of like if someone is asking what time is it in Arizona or how old is this famous person, they're just looking for an answer. They just need something, they're in our case for small business, like yeah, people go into Google or Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, and they're just asking a basic question, or they have a need, or they have a problem, and they're like, who can help me out? So you just need a quick and simple answer of like, yes, my company is here to help you out. So I think there's going to be a lot of changes with content. I don't think that the whole thing is completely solved yet. The main question that be asked is like, what content do people actually want? Because I really do think that the AI is going to look at user experience. They're going to look at that type of data. They're going to see like, are people actually, liking what's on there? Are they bouncing quickly? So I think that stuff is really going to matter and is something to kind of look for as far as like what content do people actually want. The second way that I think that AI is going to be changing search engine optimization is going to be with link building. I think link building is going to be going the way of the dinosaurs. It's going to become less and less of a thing and a factor, which makes sense because over 70% of people now they use the internet off of mobile devices, cell phone, tablet, things like that. So for people to share links, it's a lot harder to do when you don't have a mouse. It's harder to do that from your mobile device. So it would make sense that link building would be having less of a factor. But what exactly is link building? Link building is a form of social proof. It's basically a way to show that this company is credible or they're trustworthy. And early on, we're seeing that forums like Reddit, for example, are doing pretty good, or that the AI likes that. We're also seeing reviews matter. So I think, like, instead of focusing on link building, the thing to really do is for business owners to focus on doing whatever they can to get their customers to leave new reviews or have them mention the business in various forms that are out there. I think the AI is using that for social proof in terms of like what companies are trustworthy and which ones aren't. So I think that's going to be a big change in terms of like how do you generate positive social proof. The third thing that the third way that AI is changing SEO and internet marketing, I think, might be the biggest, and one that I'll probably do another video on in the future. But it's something called the agentic web. Agentic, coming from the term AI agent. For those not familiar with AI agents, it's the idea that the agent can do a task for you. It's not just going to ChatGPT and putting in a search and saying like, "Hey, give me this or give me that." Like, the AI agent actually performs a task. So the agentic web is basically the internet where you have a bunch of these AI agents, and when I say a bunch, I mean like millions and millions of these robots doing things for various people that are out there. So the agentic web is really going to change the internet. But you might ask, well, how? So for the past few months, 6 months, you've had a lot of smart people out there, smarter, even smarter than me, and they've been saying that as of maybe as early as 2028, 2027, there's going to be more people that are accessing websites that are robots or AI versus humans. Think about that. Like, let that sink in. You have a website, you're going to have more people that are robots visit it than people. And why would a robot visit the website? Like, by robot, I mean the AI. You do a search into Perplexity or the Grok or whatever, and the AI is going to be at lightning speed going to all these different websites to gather information and then spit out the answer. So a lot of people thought that by 2028, 2027, like, this is going to happen. There's going to be more AI accessing websites than humans, but surprise, Cloudflare recently, I think it was last week or 10 days ago, they put out this report saying that 57% of people trying to access their hosted websites were automated. 57% versus 42% by humans. So we're already there. We're already at the point to where more robots and AI are accessing your website than humans. And I think that number probably isn't as strong for small business. For news websites or big national websites, I think that's probably more of a thing. For small businesses, I think that those numbers are not quite as strong because the people that are looking up small business websites are probably local customers. They have a problem, they have a need. So I think I'd have to kind of dig into that more. But the main point that I'm getting at is you got to build websites nowadays for people, obviously, like we've done for years. But now you want to start really thinking about building a website for the robot. You gotta make the website crawlable for humans, but also crawlable for the robot. You gotta make a website that's palatable for the human, but also for the robot. So I think those are probably the three biggest ways that AI is changing SEO, and something that we're gonna continue to monitor in the future.